All right, buckle up, everybody. We're going deep on this one. We're diving into Napoleon Hill's A Year of Growing Rich.
Oh, yeah, classic.
52 weeks of readings, a whole year of Hill's wisdom. This is going to be quite a journey.
And it's not just about, like, money, right?
No, no, definitely not just money.
It's about cultivating that success mindset, you know, for every aspect of your life.
Absolutely, all areas. You've really got to have that mindset.
And what I find really interesting about this book is that uh, he kind of structured it like a year-long program, you know. Each week builds on the last. It's like he really believed in that power of consistent, focused effort over time. Like you can't just, read one chapter and be done.
Yeah, you're not just going to wake up successful. It's like building a muscle. It takes time.
Yeah, exactly.
So, okay, week one, right off the bat, Hill goes, no one drifts to success.
Mhm.
He doesn't mess around, does he?
Does not. Straight to the point.
Definite purpose is non-negotiable.
Yeah, and he really drives this home with this amazing story about Stuart Austin Weir. Weir was this struggling writer, but then, like, he gets this idea in his head. He wants to be the best patent attorney in the U.S. That's his definite purpose, you know.
Okay, I'm intrigued, but like, how does that even happen?
Well, that's the thing. He actually achieved it.
What? Really?
Yeah, he did. But see, here's the key. Hill says it's not enough to just want something generally. Like, Weir didn't just want to be a lawyer, any lawyer. He wanted to be the best. And that was his driving force.
So it's got to be like this burning desire, not just a wish.
It's got to consume you.
Hmm.
It's got to motivate you. Like every single day it becomes this guiding force in your life,
Yeah.
helping you make tough decisions, overcome obstacles. It's like your North Star.
Okay, so like for our listener right now, like that's the question, isn't it? What's your definite purpose? What's that thing that gets you fired up?
Big question, right? Because Hill says, like, without it, you're kind of just drifting like a ship without a rudder. You might end up somewhere, but it probably won't be where you really want to be.
It makes you really think. Then in week two, Hill shifts gears a bit, but in a way that kind of connects back to definite purpose. It's called learning to live your own life. He's talking about like not letting other people dictate your path.
Oh, yeah. He gets pretty real about that. Like, don't let other people put you in a box.
Exactly. And he tells this story about this disillusioned Army veteran. Like this guy's totally lost after leaving this service. No direction, no purpose.
Yeah, I remember that story.
And someone's like, hey, you're a great cook. Why not do something with that? And guess what? He ends up building this multi-million-dollar cookware business.
It's so easy to get caught up in what we think we should be doing, what other people expect of us, that we forget to listen to our own inner voice. Hill's like, wake up. You have the power to choose your own path.
Yeah, and that ties back to definite purpose
Yeah.
so perfectly, right? Like if you don't know what you want, it's easy to get swayed by everybody else's opinions. You got to own your desires.
Totally. It's all connected. It's a foundation. And, it gets even more interesting because from weeks 3 through 25, Hill really starts unpacking this whole toolkit for success. I mean, we're talking motivation, strength, sincerity, even like personal magnetism.
Okay, we're going to have to unpack that carefully. It's a lot.
Oh, yeah. Some of these weeks could be their own deep dives. But it's cool how Hill shows us that success, it's not just one thing. It's a whole bunch of qualities and habits working together.
It's like a recipe, almost. You got to have all the ingredients.
Exactly. So, like, for example, right, Hill talks about motivate. He uses Einstein as an example. Like, Einstein was relentless in his pursuit of knowledge. But then right alongside that, he's emphasizing strength through struggle.
It's like you can't have one without the other. You need the fire AND, the ability to handle the heat. It reminds me, when I was working with General Rufus A. Berets, the workloads were insane, but the experience I gained, priceless.
Yeah, see, like what doesn't kill you makes you stronger.
Right.
Right. But in a real practical sense, Hill's saying challenges are going to come is how you respond that matters. You're going to let it break you, or you can use it as fuel.
I like that. Fuel. So we got motivation, resilience, but Hill also gets into sincerity and service. He tells this amazing story about Martha Berry, who wanted to build a school but had, like, no money. So she asks Henry Ford for help, but not for money. She asks him for peanuts.
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 Wow, that's different.
Right. But it worked. Ford was so impressed by her sincerity and creativity, he ended up helping her get the school built.
It just goes to show sometimes the most unexpected approaches can lead to the greatest successes. And, that story also highlights something else. Hill talks about patience and flexibility.
Oh, yeah, because building a school, even with Henry Ford's help, is not going to happen overnight.
Exactly. Big goals require patience, flexibility, the ability to adapt. You got to stay committed to the vision, but also be open to new approaches, new opportunities along the way.
This is fascinating. Now, one thing that's always intrigued me, this idea of personal magnetism. Hill uses Billy Graham as an example, the way he could just captivate a crowd. What's the secret there?
Well, Hill says it's about using your voice, your eyes, even your body language to project confidence, enthusiasm. It's that energy you bring to your interactions, that spark that makes people want to listen, connect with you.
It's kind of like charisma, right? But it's tied to enthusiasm too, isn't it? Hill says enthusiasm is contagious.
Absolutely. Think about it. The most inspiring people you've ever met, they usually have this infectious enthusiasm, right? It
Yeah.
draws you in. You want to be part of whatever they're passionate about.
It's true. It's like their energy becomes your energy. Now, we can't forget about this whole concept of the subconscious mind. Hill uses Thomas Edison as an example. And it reminds me of that story about how Edison just wouldn't give up on his inventions, even when everyone else thought they were impossible.
Yeah, like that belief, that deep inner conviction. That's what Hill says unlocks the power of the subconscious mind.
But how do you cultivate that, especially when you're surrounded by doubters?
That's a big question, and it's something Hill gets into in the later weeks, which I'm excited to dig into. But it's about understanding how your subconscious mind works, using things like affirmations, visualizations. Surround yourself with people who support your vision.
Makes sense. Oh, and we can't forget humor. I was surprised when Hill dedicated a whole week to humor, but then I thought, well, when things get tough, a good laugh can really help, right?
Totally. It's about not taking yourself too seriously, finding those moments of joy, even when things are challenging. Humor can be a powerful tool for resilience. It helps you bounce back.
It's like a pressure valve. Okay, and then there's teamwork. Hill's all about the power of collaboration. We can achieve so much more together than we ever could alone.
Yeah, he's talking about a shift in mindset, moving away from competition towards cooperation, realizing that everyone brings something unique to the table, and when we work together, we can create something truly amazing.
Absolutely. And I love how he emphasizes humility. It's about being open to learning from others, admitting when you're wrong, not letting ego get in the way of growth.
True leadership isn't about dominance. It's about service, inspiration, empowering others to reach their full potential.
So well said. And of course, Hell talks about helping others, giving back. He even shares his own experience with Andrew Carnegie, who became his mentor and helped him organize all his research.
Yeah, it's recognizing that success isn't a solo journey. We all need support, guidance along the way. And by giving back, we create a more supportive ecosystem for everyone to thrive.
It's like paying it forward, right? What goes around comes around.
Exactly. And, he also talks about harmony, the importance of positive relationships, finding common ground with those around you.
Yeah, we're all interconnected, right?
Or,
Our lives touch each other in so many ways.
and he'll give some really practical advice on how to cultivate those positive connections. It's all about empathy, respect, understanding.
We've covered so much ground already, and we're only halfway through the year. What's resonating with you, listener? What's standing out?
Welcome back, everybody, to our deep dive into Napoleon Hill's A Year of Growing Rich.
So now we're getting into the second half of the book, right?
Yep, we're moving into weeks 26 through 52.
And it feels like things are getting even deeper.
Definitely. Hill starts to explore these more internal aspects of success, like self-awareness, mental mastery. It gets pretty fascinating.
It does. It does. Okay, so in week 26, Hill talks about selling to yourself. Now, at first, I was a little skeptical.
Oh, yeah, I can see that.
Like, I'm not a fan of fakeness. And Hill gives this example about a salesman who always keeps golf clubs in his car to, like, project this image of success.
Right. Even if he never actually plays golf.
Exactly. So I was like, wait a minute, is this about being deceptive? But then, as I read on, I realized it's not about that at all.
No, it's not about being fake. It's about believing in yourself,
Yeah, it's like sometimes we need to convince ourselves first.
Exactly. It's about shaping the way you present yourself, both to the world and to yourself. So that salesman with the golf clubs, maybe he was trying to embody the success he aspired to. And by doing that, by projecting that image, he was actually moving closer to achieving it.
So it's like fake it till you make it, but with real intention.
Exactly. He'll believe that radiating confidence, success, it can become a self-fulfilling prophecy. Like you start acting like the person you want to be, and eventually you become that person.
I can see that. Okay, then in week 28, we get hit with the power of mental attitude. And Hill shares this incredible story about Milo C. Jones.
Oh, wow, what a story that is.
Jones was a farmer who became paralyzed.
Oh, wow.
But he refused to let that define him. He ended up building this hugely successful sausage business.
I love that story. It's like the perfect example of how our mindset shapes our reality.
Mm.
Jones could have easily given up, succumbed to despair, but instead, he focused on what he could control. His thoughts, his attitude, his determination. He used his mind to create a new path to success.
And Hill really drives this point home throughout the book. He even quotes the Bible at one point.
Really? Which verse?
For unto everyone that hath shall be given, and he shall have abundance. But from him that hath not shall be taken away even that which he hath.
Powerful, powerful words.
It is, right. And it ties into this whole idea of the law of attraction. Like, attracts like. When you cultivate a positive mental attitude, you attract positive experiences. When you dwell in negativity, you attract more negativity.
I'm a firm believer in that. But it makes you wonder, though, how do we balance optimism with realism? Are you supposed to just ignore all the bad stuff?
That's a good question. And I think Hill's answer would be no, it's not about ignoring reality. It's about having faith in yourself, believing in your ability to overcome challenges. He uses F.W. Woolworth as an example,
The five and dime guy.
the one and only. And Woolworth, he believed in his idea for these low-price stores, even when his boss didn't.
And look what he accomplished. It's like a testament to the power of believing in your vision, even when others doubt it.
Exactly. It's about having that inner conviction that fuels your actions, even when faced with adversity. Okay, so moving on, Hill challenges us to examine our habits, both the good ones and the bad ones.
Oh, yeah. Habits are so powerful, aren't they? They can make or break us.
Absolutely. And Hill points out that a lot of our successes are actually the result of habits that we might not even be aware of. So he's advocating for conscious habit creation.
So it's like taking stock of your current habits, figuring out which ones are serving you and which ones are holding you back.
Exactly. And then intentionally cultivating the habits that support your goals.
It's a powerful concept, I think. And, along with habits, Hill talks about accurate thinking, which really resonated with me. It's about separating facts from opinions, filtering out the noise, and really focusing on what's true and relevant.
That's so important in today's world. With all the information overload, it's easy to get caught up in the hype and lose sight of what really matters.
And Hill gives some really practical tips on how to think more accurately. It's about being discerning, critical, and really questioning the information we're bombarded with.
Absolutely. Okay, then we get into this concept of creative vision.
Ooh, that sounds exciting. Like a superpower.
It kind of is. It's about using your imagination to solve problems, envision new possibilities, thinking outside the box, pushing beyond the limits of what you already know.
I love that. It's about tapping into that creative potential that we all have within us, not being afraid to explore new ideas, new approaches.
Absolutely. And then there's concentration. And let's be honest, this is something a lot of us struggle with, right?
Oh, tell me about it. In today's world, with all the distractions, it's so hard to stay focused.
But Hill is a big advocate for focusing on one thing at a time.
And I think he's right. When we scatter our focus, our efforts become diluted. It's like trying to water a garden with a sprinkler instead of a hose, You're not really giving anything enough attention to thrive.
That's a great analogy. Concentration allows you to bring your full mental power to bear on the task at hand. Okay, then in week 37, Hill gets a bit controversial. He talks about the blessings of failure. He even shares his own experience of missing out on an inheritance, which he initially saw as a huge setback.
Oh, yeah, that story is really interesting. It's like he's turning the whole idea of failure on its head.
He is. He's saying that failure isn't the opposite of success. It's often a stepping stone.
It's about reframing our perspective, seeing those setbacks as opportunities for learning, growth, and resilience. And honestly, I think he's right. Some of the most successful people I know have faced major setbacks along the way.
Yeah, and Hill even points out that many great achievements are attained by people over 50. He even says that the most productive years are between 60 and 70.
So it's like never too late to achieve your dreams.
Exactly. It's a message of hope and encouragement. You can continue to grow and achieve throughout your life.
As long as you maintain that mindset of learning and embrace new challenges.
Now, let's talk about fear. Hill describes fear as the biggest obstacle to success. He urges us to confront our fears head on.
Oh, yeah. Fear can be paralyzing, can it? It keeps us stuck, prevents us from taking action.
And Hill says that procrastination only amplifies fear. So he encourages us to analyze our fears, assess the risks, and then take decisive action.
It's like the longer you wait, the bigger the fear becomes.
Exactly. Now, alongside confronting fear, Hill stresses the importance of self-discipline.
Self-discipline, that's a tough one, but so crucial.
It is, and Hill reminds us that we have complete control over our thoughts and actions.
It's the bridge between intention and action. You
Hmm.
know, it's about having that inner strength to stay focused on your goals, even when things get tough.
And Hill even gets into the challenges of raising children.
Oh, interesting. What does he say about that?
He shares his own experience as a self-proclaimed juvenile delinquent and the positive influence his stepmother had on him.
It's like a reminder that parenting isn't about control. It's about understanding, guidance, and providing a supportive environment where kids can thrive.
Exactly. Okay, then we get into sorrow, which is unfortunately an inevitable part of life.
That's true. Life has its ups and downs.
And Hill emphasizes the importance of allowing ourselves to feel sorrow fully, but not letting it consume us.
It's about acknowledging the pain, processing it, and then finding a way to move forward.
Yeah, and Hill suggests that sorrow can actually be a catalyst for growth.
Oh, interesting. How so?
He says it can prompt us to reevaluate our priorities, find new sources of meaning and purpose, kind of like a wake-up call, in a way.
I can see that. Okay, then Hill shares this really interesting story about a struggling businessman who came to him for help.
Oh, I remember that one. What did Hill do?
Instead of offering advice, Hill simply led the man to a mirror and said, "There is the man who can help you."
Wow, so simple, yet so
It
powerful.
is, right? It's like a reminder that ultimately we are responsible for our own lives.
We have the power within ourselves to create the change we want to see.
And Hill reminds us that true power comes from within, from aligning with a higher purpose and utilizing our unique abilities to make a positive contribution to the world.
It's not about power over others, it's about mastering ourselves, our thoughts, our emotions, and our actions.
Well said. Now, what else? I feel like there's so much more.
There is. Okay, gratitude. Hill emphasizes expressing appreciation for the help we receive along the way.
Gratitude is so important, isn't it? It shifts our focus from what we lack to what we have.
And Hill says that gratitude is a powerful force that amplifies positivity and attracts more blessings into our lives.
It's about acknowledging that we're all interconnected, that we're supported by a network of love and generosity.
And then, of course, peace of mind.
Ah, yes, that elusive peace of mind.
Hill reminds us that true wealth isn't just about money, it's about cultivating inner peace and harmony.
It's about finding contentment, even amidst the chaos of life, aligning our values, our actions, and our aspirations to create a life of true purpose and meaning.
Beautifully said. Okay, and then we have balance.
Balance, the key to everything, right?
It is. Hill reminds us to seek balance in all things, to avoid extremes, and to find that sweet spot where we can thrive.
He even provides a checklist to help us assess our progress and identify areas for improvement.
It's like a practical guide to living a more balanced and fulfilling life.
Taking a holistic approach to success. It's not just about one area of our lives, it's about all of them. Physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual.
And finally, we come to the power of faith. Hill emphasizes that it's not about blind belief, but about taking action aligned with our values and aspirations.
It's about living in alignment with our highest selves.
Exactly. And he highlights the golden rule, treating others as we would like to be treated.
Such a simple yet profound principle. It's a reminder that our actions have a ripple effect, that we're all interconnected.
And by living in alignment with principles of love, kindness, and generosity, we create a more harmonious world for ourselves and for others.
What an incredible journey this has been. Hill has given us so much to ponder and apply in our own lives. It's like a roadmap for living a more fulfilling and successful life.
And we're back. It's the final part of our deep dive into Napoleon Hill's A Year of Growing Rich. I feel like we've been on this amazing journey, you know?
Yeah, 52 weeks of wisdom condensed into a few short deep dives.
But seriously, Hill gives us so much to think about. One of the biggest things that stuck with me was this connection he makes between, like, our inner world and our outer world.
Oh, absolutely. It's like he's constantly reminding us, right, that our thoughts, our beliefs, our attitude, it all shapes our reality.
It's powerful stuff. It's like we have way more power than we think to actually create the life we want.
He's really big on that idea, that true success, lasting success, it all starts within.
I mean, it makes sense, right?
Totally. He says you got to cultivate that positive mindset, strong habits, a clear sense of purpose.
Mm.
And then, things start falling into place in your outer world.
It's like planting a seed. You got to nurture it before it can grow.
Exactly. And you know what I appreciate about Hill? He doesn't sugarcoat it. He acknowledges the challenges, the setbacks, the struggles.
This is real about it, which I like.
Yeah. Because in a world where everyone's selling these quick fixes, easy solutions, It's refreshing to hear someone say, look, growth takes effort. It takes perseverance.
Not always going to be sunshine and roses.
Exactly. And sometimes, those tough times, they're the most valuable.
Which brings me to one of my favorite parts of the book, how Hill talks about like turning setbacks into opportunities for growth.
Yeah, he calls them blessings of failure, which at first sounds kind of crazy.
I know, but when you really think about it, it's in those moments of failure that we learn the most. We get stronger, more resilient.
Totally. Failure's a chance to learn, to adapt, to grow.
Okay, so as we wrap up this deep dive, I want to throw it back to you, dear listener. What's resonating with you most? What's that one principle from Hill's wisdom that you're going to like really commit to?
Yeah. What are you going to take action on? Is it setting that big, burning, definite purpose? Is it cultivating that positive mental attitude no matter what?
Maybe it's finally taking that leap of faith and pursuing a dream you've been putting off.
Whatever it is, pick one thing, focus on it, experiment with it this week, see what happens.
And remember, success isn't a destination, it's a journey, right?
Exactly. Hill gave us the map, but we're the ones who are going to steer the ship.
And you're not alone on this journey. We're all in this together, supporting each other, learning from each other.
So keep learning, keep growing, keep striving to be the best version of yourself.
That's it for our deep dive into Napoleon Hill's A Year of Growing Rich. We hope you found it as insightful and inspiring as we did.
Until next time, keep diving deep.
And keep reaching for the stars.